Victory tonight over the Nashville Predators here at Nationwide Arena. The Jackets 7-1 on the preseason. The lone setback a week ago today against the Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh by a score of 2-1. Jackets getting a couple of goals tonight out of Nick Foligno in this victory, and they also get a pair of helpers from Jack Johnson and David Savard, also with a couple of assists as the Jackets get the victory over the Nashville Predators, and can now get down to the business of settling the final roster and getting set to open the season against the Buffalo Sabres coming up on Thursday night in Buffalo. Of course, the season home opening game for the Jackets 1 week from tonight as the New York Rangers will invade Nationwide Arena to take on the Blue Jackets. Jackets also getting a goal tonight from Cam Atkinson. And in the final summary of statistics in the preseason, Cam Atkinson wins goal-scoring honors for the Jackets in the preseason. He has 4 goals in the games that don't count, with 2 goals tonight. Nick Foligno with 3 goals. Foligno the points winner for the Jackets in the preseason as he picked up a total of 7 points in the preseason. Bob McElligott is getting a tie on, getting all snazzy to go into the Jackets dressing room and talk with some of the players following this 3-2 victory. Looking good for the players and for the camera. Neither. Okay.
Can't fix this.
There you go. Bob's he's gonna head into the dressing room here in just a couple of moments.
I'm glad you recapped all that scoring leaders and all that, because who cares?
Yeah. Right now, that's exactly it. It just, it's minutia, but we'll just throw it out there, So.
No, but enough to get it done for the Blue Jackets tonight, and that was the important thing. Finding a way to win again. That's what they did. For Sergei Bobrovsky.
Wow.
Was it? Which game was it that I'd said it didn't look like he was really himself, but he battled and he got a win? Well, tonight he looked like himself, and it's a good thing, because if he wasn't himself, they would not have gotten a win here tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the final total would be 44 saves for Sergei. Also had the save on the penalty shot by Mike Ribeiro here in the third period as well, which was obviously huge, and I imagine we'll be playing that back a little bit later on here in the Tim Hortons Post-Game Show. But come on, Bob, he's been money throughout the entire postseason or preseason. I'm already thinking ahead.
Right, he's. Well, you're really jumping, but
wow.
that's okay.
Just blow right by those 82
No, he
games.
has been. Todd Richards said this morning, somebody asked him about both goaltenders. He said, there's no problem in that area. They're both ready to go, and Sergei proved that again tonight. So, again, he was really good. I thought the Predators looked a lot better than they did on Monday in Nashville. They were pressure throughout in this game, really forcing the Blue Jackets into making mistakes and things that I'm sure they're not going to do on most nights, the Blue Jackets, those kind of mistakes, I mean. But Nashville, they pressured them into it tonight. You got to give them credit. They played a very strong road game here this evening, and battle of the goaltenders went to Sergei Bobrovsky.
Well, they certainly had the Jackets on their heels for a good portion of the game, most of the first period and at least halfway through the second period before the Jackets were able to get on the board. But Nashville clearly was owning the ice for a good portion of the game.
They were, and that'll be a concern, because that happened against Carolina on Wednesday night as well. And then the Blue Jackets turned it around. But, the one thing, though, is, well, 2 things. They do win the game, as we said, but the other thing, they never let the Predators get up by more than 1.
Yeah.
They kept it at 1-0 the entire time, so that was the key. So let's go into the dressing room and
Bob's heading on in.
talk to the players here tonight.
Post-game interviews are brought to you by Cameron Mitchell Restaurants. 12 reasons Columbus is a restaurant city. Visit us online at CameronMitchell.com.
This will be a very big shock to this guy that I come over to talk to him right away. Look, live camera and all, we've got it here. Nick Foligno here. Pair of goals here tonight, Nick. And in my opinion, one of the keys to this game is, even when Nashville was bringing the heat to you guys, you never got down by more than 1. You always gave yourselves a chance to get back into the game.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Even if we didn't play our best game, we still found a way to win, and it says a lot about a winning team. I mean, sometimes you're not going to be at your best, but you can still look to find answers somewhere, and we had that tonight. But by no means was that a good game for us. I mean, Bob had to do way too much work, and we weren't really proud of the way we played tonight. But it's good to get on a winning note, but we got a lot of things to work on come Monday, and you get ready for that first regular season game.
You weren't just letting Bob get a chance to get warmed up for the regular season?
Yeah, well, Doobie and I decided to make it pretty interesting at the end there for the fans and everybody else, but no, it was Bob played outstanding. I mean, he looked so good out there, and as always. So no surprise, but we can't make him work that hard in the regular season. That's for sure.
Yeah, you talked about finding a way to win, and is that a lesson that you can take out of this camp? All of you, when you get into the regular season, you'll face the same kind of situations, and having gone through the last 2 weeks, all but one time, finding a way to get it done.
Yeah, you know what? That's the way it's going to go. There's going to be ups and downs in the regular season. There's going to be nights where you're just not feeling it, but you got to find a way and dig deep and then find a way to win, and that's kind of how it was tonight. So we're hoping for the, hopefully it's more games where we're playing well and doing the right things in order to win. But it's always good to see that you can get the win even when you're not at your best.
Nick, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
2 goals for Nick Foligno tonight. He has a pretty nice preseason, as a matter of fact. Look at this. This is live. This is about as live as you get, is it not here? Let's go over here and see if maybe we can get – Artie, how are you? I'm good. And we can get Sergey. Sorry, Aaron.
I think, yeah. I thought you come and
Oh, you want me to come for you? Oh, Artem Anisimov is requesting me, as a matter of fact. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You'd rather I get Bob. All right. See how it works in here? This is how it works in here. After a win, this is how it works in here. After a loss, it's a little bit different. Let's hear something that Sergey is talking about here.
How much?
This year, you ready? 80 to 190 or something like that.
I didn't follow the shots, just I try to focus on my game and just do my things, do my system.
Hi, Bob. How are you? Great job here tonight. Congratulations on a big win. You were a little bit busier tonight than maybe some of your other starts in this preseason, but you looked good. Now that the preseason is over, how do you feel?
I feel pretty good. It's still, it's a process, and it's a hard-working process, and it's just a preseason, and now it starts important games.
But what we've seen in this preseason is pretty much the way you do have to play the regular season, because some nights, like tonight, you were very good. The guys in front of you battled a little bit. Sometimes you guys have battled, and the guys in front of you have been very good. That's the way it's going to be, and you found ways to win.
Yeah, exactly. That's the team, teamwork, and we help and work for each other. It's everybody say that, and that's our identity.
The two things. You had the breakaway early on. Eric Nystrom gets that one on you to go up 1-0. Later, Mike Ribeiro with the penalty shot. Are you looking for anything specific from him, or are you just looking to react to what he does?
I'm still focused on my system, on my job, what I need to do, and stick with it.
You look like, you weren't happy when the second one went in, obviously, but there was a lot of activity there. I don't even know how you made some of the stops you made, do you?
No, it's tough. I thought that was on the crossbar. I hear the sound, and it's touched my arm, and I thought they wasn't in, so...
Well, Sergey, congratulations. Way to finish off the preseason tonight.
Thank you very much.
Sergey Bobrovsky talking to us here in the Blue Jackets dressing room after this big victory over the Nashville Predators. Alexander Wenberg's over here talking. Let's go talk to Alexander and see what he has to say.
I mean, of course, we always stick together. I mean, right now we're sitting in Rojo, so it's kind of funny. Yeah. And, of course, we've been hanging around. We've been together at Develop Camp and also here at camp. So, of course, it's a special bond there. But it would be kind of awesome that all three rookies from the draft pick from the 2013 would be here. But we never know. But, of course, it's great guys and just enjoying being with them. Thank you. Thanks.
Alexander, you were on the wing tonight, playing on the wing. You've been at center, which is your natural position. What was it like for you to shift over there tonight?
I mean, it was a little bit rusty. I mean, I haven't played it for a while, so it's a different type of game. As a center, you're more get use your speed and be all over the ice, and more like a wing, you got to take a different decision. But I mean, you go into it. Maybe it wasn't my best game today, but you just try to work on those things and get some feedback from the coach and see after that.
And the one thing about it is when you get out there on the wing, you look across and playing with some pretty good guys out there, Letestu and Foligno. Not bad line mates to have, right?
No, absolutely, but. Right now, it doesn't matter who you play with. All the guys over here are NHL players, so everybody's good that you play with. So for me, it's just wherever you play, just try to be the best out there tonight. Play wing with two great guys and just try to make the best out of it.
All right, training camp now, for all intents and purposes, is over. How do you feel about what you did, and how do you feel about your chances to be standing here getting ready to go to Buffalo later in the week?
I mean, it's hard to tell. I always try to do my best, and I think that I showed them my type of game and my skills out there. And just hope and see that they want me to stick around. And I'm just not much to say. I'm just hoping that it would be that way.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been fun to watch you over the last 2 weeks, and hopefully we're going to be seeing you here for a long time. Congratulations on a great camp.
Thank you.
Alexander Wenberg of the Blue Jackets, one of those 3 first-round picks from a couple of years ago, making a very good impression in this camp. And you know what? I was going to go out, but let me stay in for just a second here. If I can, Michael Chaput is talking here, and maybe we can sneak in on this one with Aaron Portzline here for a moment.
Yeah, we have to be at the rink. I don't know what we're going to do.
Just Tuesday's the big day.
Yeah.
Okay, hang tight.
Yeah, thank you.
Michael, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Camp is over, so now you shift into the next phase. I'm sure there's a lot of wonder and a lot of thought as to whether or not you did enough in the last 2 weeks. Personally, I thought you were great. I'm not making the decision, though. How much fun did you have here and getting the great opportunities you did in the last 2 weeks?
I think it was awesome, especially getting to play every single preseason game except for the split squad one, obviously. But I think it was a great experience, and now we'll just see what happens.
You and I have talked before about the experience you had last year in the 17 games that you played up here, and it goes beyond that because there were other times that you were just around the team. Even if you weren't playing, you were around, you were practicing. How much were you able to draw out of that whole experience, bring it into this camp this year to put yourself in this spot?
I think it helps a lot, especially with experience, getting adjusted to the speed of the game and all that. And I think another thing is when the veterans come and talk to you and they give you tips on, how to prepare for games, what to do and not to do and stuff. And I think overall those 17 games, the time I've been around the team has helped me a lot.
The fourth line in the last couple of years, they've been good for energy. They've been good to kind of turn the tide of a game. They've also been good at opportune scoring. And you guys had some really good chances here tonight. So that theme, no matter who the guys on that line are, it seems like that theme remains the same.
Yeah, for sure. When the fourth line's out there, we're just trying to provide energy, and when we get scoring chances, that's a bonus. And I think we're just trying to bring the momentum to the team.
Well, Michael, congratulations on a great camp, and best of luck to you here.
Thank you very much.
Michael Chaput of the Blue Jackets as he finishes up his training camp. And the Blue Jackets finish up their training camp as well and get set to start the regular season later in the week. Tuesday is cut day. Tuesday is the day when the final roster has to be submitted, and you'll find out who officially is here and who is not. We're going to continue with the Tim Hortons Post-Game Show here at BlueJackets.com and the Scioto Downs Columbus Blue Jackets Radio Network.
And we're back at Nationwide Arena with the Tim Hortons Post-Game Show on the Scioto Downs Blue Jackets Radio Network and the live stream on BlueJackets.com. Mark Wyant, Bob McKelligot with you. The Jackets wrapping up the preseason tonight with a 3-2 victory over the Nashville Predators. We are standing by for Coach Todd Richards. His post-game comments coming up in just a few moments. Jackets complete the preseason, winning 7 out of 8 games. Again, the lone loss to Pittsburgh last Saturday. But very good preseason for the Jackets. But talking to the players afterwards, Bob, it sounds like there's still quite a few things they need to work on.
Yeah, no question about it. And I would expect that Todd Richards is going to say something very similar as soon as he gets behind the table, or the podium there, rather, in the press conference room, because, again, this wasn't a pretty game tonight.
No.
But you mentioned the one loss was the loss in Pittsburgh, and that game was an overall ugly game where there wasn't much going on either way, and they didn't win that one. So, they bounce back here a week later. They get this win. They finish 7-1 in the preseason. They're feeling great about themselves, and now they have that to try to use to catapult into the regular season starting this week.
Another outstanding performance by Sergei Bobrovsky in goal, 44 saves, facing 46 shots. But I think it was Nick Foligno brought up the fact that they can't let him work that hard game in and game out.
Well, that's true. There's no question about that. But then again, he is one of the elite goaltenders in the league, and this is the kind of performance that he can have on any given night. Eric Nystrom, early in the game, had a breakaway. Later on, a shot. He takes care of that. James Neal is one of the snipers in the league, square to that shot, able to make the save. Guys digging around at the side of the net all night long. Pucks coming off the end boards, bouncing toward the net. This is his building. That's the key to one of those plays.
Yep.
He knows the caroms off those boards and where the puck is going to go. And even when he didn't have a stick, he still used the blocker pad hand to make the save. Shea Weber, to me, Shea Weber gets on a plane tonight and goes, how in the heck did I not have a goal in this game this evening? But every one of those heavy shots that he took, Sergei was right there to stop. And there were guys standing right in front of him all night long, and he didn't flinch. So if there's any question, not that there was going into this game, but if you had any question at all, is Sergei Bobrovsky ready to carry the load?
Yeah, he's ready.
If the Blue Jackets have one of their subpar performances? Yes, he is. They had one tonight. He bailed them out. That's why they get the win.
Yeah, and more on that Shea Weber shot, too, that we saw on the stream here just a few moments ago. He's got a hard shot, one of the hardest shots in the league. Fortunately, he got Bob up high, so he was able to corral the puck. And as you mentioned, Predators all over the place, all over the crease. You're not giving up a rebound on a Shea Weber shot, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's catching those shots. Yes, he either caught him against his chest. He was catching them on the blocker pad tonight. And he knows. He knows who has the puck. He knows who's shooting it.
Yep.
So there are two things. Number one, I've got to see it and stop it. Number two, I can't let it launch off my body and give somebody else a chance to corral it before I'm back into position. And he was great at that tonight when it came to Shea Weber. But not only Shea Weber, but a lot of other guys, too.
Yep. All right. Offensively, Jackets do get 3 goals tonight, 2 from Nick Foligno. And Cam Atkinson also scoring tonight for the Jackets. Got off to a good start with the power play tonight. I believe they had 5 shots on that first power play of the game. But the power play wasn't as good as the game went along, although they ended up getting a power play goal at the end.
They did, but again, I'm not going to pin it all on the Blue Jackets' power play on what happened here tonight. I'm going to give the Nashville Predators a lot of credit in what they did on the penalty kill. And it's really what they did throughout the course of the game tonight, too. They were trying to pressure a lot. They forechecked very well. They were using speed. They were doing all the things. They were being aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're so used to seeing a Nashville team that for years and years and years was a little bit aggressive, but for the most part sat back. They waited for you to come to them, and then they would stop you. Once you got to their blue line, good luck to you getting through the forwards and then the defense and then, one of the elite goaltenders in the league. Now it's different. Peter Laviolette has a different mindset. He says, hey, we're going to go after teams. We're going to attack teams. We're going to get them. When they make mistakes, you get a chance to capitalize on an odd man rush. When they don't make mistakes, you have trouble because they get you hemmed in. And that's what they did a lot here tonight. They did it on that 4-minute power play the Blue Jackets had. They looked terrible on that power play. But, again, I think that the Predators had just as much to do with that as the Blue Jackets' ineffectiveness to move the puck and pass it did. But, as you said, first power play was great. 5 of the first 6 shots came with a man advantage. Then all of a sudden it dried up. Nashville made adjustments. The Blue Jackets didn't. They made adjustments late in the game. It took them 18 seconds to put one in right off the faceoff.
Jackets did have a chance, as Bob mentioned, late in the game, too. They had a 4-minute power play when the Predators recalled Mike Ribeiro for a double minor, a high stick on, I believe it was Brandon Dubinsky.
Oh, Wisniewski.
Or Wisniewski. The Jackets not able to cash in on the power play, the 4 minutes, and were not able to expand the lead. And that's might be an area Todd Richards will want to address with the team. You got a 2-1 lead in the third period, a chance to expand the lead, put a team away, and they didn't take advantage of it at that point in time.
Yeah. You're right, but again, I think no matter what they say afterwards and no matter what Todd says here in a couple of minutes, the fact of the matter is everybody still knows in the back of their mind it's preseason.
Yeah.
And they know that they're trying to get through it, and you're trying not to get hurt and all this stuff. So, it matters in some ways. It doesn't matter in other ways, but what's going to matter the most is the end result. And, yeah, they'll have to fix things, but who knows?
All right, let's head down to the press room.
Put on the preseason, or did that leave you with some questions?
Not at all. I think the only place we won the battle, or the only place that we beat those guys, the Nashville team tonight, was we put more pucks behind their goalies than they did. Otherwise, they were faster than us. They were more determined than us. They were harder in the battles than us.
Notwithstanding the pace of the game or how the game was played, but 7-1-0 in the preseason, points don't mean anything. Can you take something from that going into Thursday night and the opener?
It'd be nice if we could take some points with us. To me, it's how you play the game, and this one leaves me with a little, sour taste in my mouth. We had, I think we had taken steps in the right direction. I think we've improved every game up until this game. And, sometimes I know that you can't use it as an excuse. You got to be ready to play. You got to go out and execute and do those things. But sometimes that last game is the hardest game to play. And we weren't nearly as good as we weren't as good as I'm going to say needed to be or could have been. So it leaves you with a sour taste.
Did you get any separation among the guys that are fighting to make this team tonight?
This is a tough game to judge. There wasn't too many good. The only guy for me that really played a good game for us was our goaltender. And we had spurts. We had moments where we were okay. Dubinsky's line had some moments, and obviously Nick Foligno scores a couple goals, and our power play at times was okay, but we didn't have the intensity and the focus that you need to have.
You can get carried away with preseason stats, but I think you were outshot in these 8 games by like 90-some shots.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Is that a concern?
A little bit. A little bit. You have to go into this game too, and how many shots were special team shots, and but we have to be better in areas. And in the offensive zone, we aren't getting shots through. Other teams are getting shots through. So to me, that's either we aren't doing a good enough job in the offensive zone from our defensemen, or our forwards in our own zone aren't doing a good enough job in shooting lanes.
With the way the game ended up tonight and the way that the team played, how tough does it make your decisions now with the roster decisions that you have to make in the next 24, 48 hours?
How tough does it make it? We're no different than what we were when we talked this morning or we talked yesterday. Players have come in and the young guys have put us in a tough spot, and that's what you want. And it's a credit to the organization. It's a credit to the scouts, the guys who do all the work behind the scenes, because we got some pretty good players here right now, and it's going to be tough decisions, and we still have to sit down as a group and with Yarmo and JD and figure out exactly what we're going to do going forward.
Todd, with this being the final preseason game, did you have any special comments for the guys who are kind of on the bubble tonight? Anything after the game you said specifically for them?
No, nothing specifically to them, just more to the team. Just that, we got beat tonight. We got beat in a lot of areas. As I said, the only place that we beat them is the final score. Thanks.
And those are the post-game comments from Blue Jackets head coach Todd Richards. If you were just tuning in, you'd think, wow, how bad did the Jackets get beat tonight? But they won the game. Thing of it is, there weren't 2 points on the line. If there were 2 points on the line, he might feel a little bit better, but he's clearly not pleased.
Listen, this is a perfect game for a coach at the end of the preseason. Perfect. They win the game, but they played badly enough that he is not going to let them feel good about themselves. All this means is day off tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to work and work hard. Monday and Tuesday is going to run them into the ground, working hard. Then Wednesday, it'll be a light practice before heading to Buffalo to get ready for the game Thursday. This is perfect for him. I don't care what he said. I don't care how he said it. The fact of the matter is he is now in the mindset where he can be a grouch for the next 3 or 4 days saying you may have won, but it wasn't good enough. It's got to be better, and drive that point home up until the season starts in Buffalo. So, again, it's great. For him, psychologically, this is a great last game of the preseason.
All right, Jackets do get the victory over the Nashville Predators. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get through your game summary. We'll get you updated on the other scores as well as we continue with the Tim Hortons Post-Game Show on BlueJackets.com and the Scioto Downs Blue Jackets Radio Network. Back at Nationwide Arena, Mark Wine and Bob McKelly get with you. It's time right now for our game summary presented by Crown Plaza, the Crown Plaza Hotel in the Arena District, the official hotel partner of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Jackets taking on the Nashville Predators in the final preseason game tonight. It was Nashville getting on the board first. David Savard with basically he whiffed on, what was it, a pass? More so than a shot.
Yeah, he was trying to pass the puck.
Eric Nystrom picked it up, walked in on Sergei Bobrovsky, put it in the net, gave Nashville the 1-0 lead. And that's how the shorthanded goal as well. Yes, the Jackets were on the power play at the time. Jackets had a couple of power plays in the first period. They weren't able to convert on them. And Nashville ended up at one point getting 12 of 13 shots. Jackets, up until about 30 seconds left in the first period, only had one shot, even strength. They were able to get about 3 in the final 30 seconds, but they were still being clearly outplayed.
Yeah, they were being outplayed. You're absolutely right about that. But again, one goal was the differential, and that was a key.
Sergei Bobrovsky, early in the second period, had to make a bunch of saves, a bunch of back-to-back shots by the Nashville Predators, and eventually the Jackets would get back into the game and tie things up, which takes us to our Big Lots big play of the game. Big Lots, score your own big savings with Big Lots. Check out your nearest location today. Nick Foligno gives the Jackets the tying goal in the second period.
Dubinsky, rink wide. Nick Foligno with a shot, and he scores! Nick Foligno, what a shot from the right wing circle, beats Pecorine, and the Blue Jackets have tied this game at 1.
Now, in a way, David Savard kind of made up for his miscue in the first period because as Bob talked to Nick Foligno at the end of the second period, Nick mentioned the fact that if David Savard doesn't do what he does on that play, Nick's not in position to get the goal.
Right. If he doesn't drive the net and give Pecorine two things to think about there, maybe they don't get that goal. And I'll tell you why that's a Big Lots big play of the game. Because, as you alluded to, up until that point, the Blue Jackets had nothing. There was nothing going on. They were down 1-0. It might as well have been 4-0 at that point from what they were generating because they weren't generating much. huge. And then all of a sudden, with one shot, you're right back in the game, and it's all tied up at 1.
And it was that way after 2 periods of play, a 1-1 game as we went into the third. Nick Foligno would score again for the Jackets, his second goal of the game to give them the 2-1 lead. And then it was up to Sergei Bobrovsky to kind of maintain that lead. We go back to the Foligno goal. Jack Johnson, David Savard assisting on that. Both Savard and Johnson would end the night with a couple of assists each for the Jackets coming off the blue line. But a very similar shot by Nick Foligno right there.
Yeah, really similar. If they had been going the same direction, I would have thought it was the same goal that we saw earlier in the game. It was the same shot. It was from the same type of location. But, again, it's huge because it lifts you again. Now all of a sudden you're in the lead for the first time. Now you get a chance to dictate what happens from there on.
And right up until this point, it was kind of difficult to select what would be the save of the game from Sergei Bobrovsky because he was making so many of them. I mean,
we had like 50 of them aside.
And I think most of them were early in the second period as well. But we're into the third period. It's a 2-1 Jackets lead. We get now to our Ohio Health save of the game. Ohio Health, the official healthcare provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. Mike Ribeiro was going in on Sergei Bobrovsky, had a clear breakaway. Jared Boll was coming up from behind him. The save is made by Bobrovsky. Boll gets called for the penalty. Basically, they were saying that he impeded his shot, but Ribeiro was still able to get it off, even though Jared got the
chopped
stick
him on the
there.
hands. Chopped him on the hands. They had every right to make that call, and of course, we'll tell you why I feel that way.
It led to a penalty shot, and let's see what happened with our big save of the game.
So here comes Ribeiro, picks up at center red, angles in on the left wing side. In the high slot, he goes with a forehand shot, denied by Sergei Bobrovsky.
Now, biggest save of the night for Sergei Bobrovsky, was it his best save of the night?
No, I don't think it was his best save of the night. It was his biggest, yeah, because all of a sudden it changes the whole complexion of the game at that point. But to me, his best save of the night was the one that he made late in the game when he lost his stick and he reached out and he grabbed the puck off the side of the net with his blocker pad hand. There's not your protection's all on the top on the blocker pad.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much underneath there.
Yep.
Whereas on the glove hand, it's pretty well protected overall. So my point is, when you're sticking that hand down in there to grab a puck or to make a play and guys are jabbing at it, that's a little bit more dangerous. So he didn't have a stick, but he still made the play, which is vintage Sergei Bobrovsky.
Still a game, a one-goal game. Jackets up 2-1. Again, as we talked about earlier, they would get a 4-minute power play, but they weren't able to do anything with it. The Jackets would eventually get another power play a little bit later on. Cam Atkinson, 18 seconds after the Jackets went on the power play, cashed in, gets the goal. Pretty good preseason for Cam Atkinson. I think tonight was his 5th game. He gets his 4th goal. He ends up leading the team with 4 goals in the preseason. I think that's a good thing, Bob, because he's a goal scorer. And one thing you want to see is your goal scorers at least get into the flow and get something going. And Cam certainly was able to do that here in the preseason.
And it's even more important for Cam Atkinson because near the end of last year, he was forced to sit out and be a healthy scratch. So he had something to prove coming into this camp. And for him, he took that as a challenge. He went out there, he did his job, as you said, and here he is leading the team in goal scoring at the end of the preseason. Now, those numbers all go back to 0 as of right now, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, he got a chance to get tuned up, and he made some good things happen. And on that last power play, the reason they got the goal in 18 seconds is they won a faceoff, number 1. And that was key.
Yep.
And then they had a couple of very quick passes, and boom, right in the back of the net. When you win the face-off, that's always key number 1. But that quick passing is what's going to be the difference between this power play unit being a good one or a bad one throughout the year.
Predators still able to make it interesting down the stretch. Jackets took a couple of penalties, delay penalty, closing the hand over the puck that gave Nashville a 2-man advantage. And I was heading down to the tunnel. I believe Nashville pulled the goalie as well, went 6-on-3, didn't they?
They did.
So they ended up getting a goal to make it a 3-2 game, but the Jackets held on to close it out and get the victory and finish off the preseason at 7-1. And now we can start talking about games that matter.
That's true. We can't talk about a roster that matters officially until
Not yet,
Tuesday,
no.
but they'll be working through that tonight, tomorrow, believe me.
There you go. All right, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, we will see what else happened as far as the Time Warner Cable preseason NHL scoreboard is concerned as we continue with the Tim Hortons Post-Game Show on BlueJackets.com and the Souder Downs Blue Jackets Radio Network. And we're back at Nationwide Arena. Jackets 3-2 winners tonight over the Nashville Predators to close out the preseason schedule. Jackets Predators, one of 10 preseason games tonight. There's actually, I'm not sure 10 tonight, and I'm not sure who the two teams are tomorrow, but there's one more preseason game tomorrow.
They're not in NFL cities?
I don't know. Probably not. I really think
all the Canadian teams will be playing tomorrow.
There you go. Should have probably finished this thing up last night as opposed to on a Saturday or a Sunday when it comes to the preseason schedule. Let's get to the Time Warner Cable preseason scoreboard. We do have some other finals from earlier today. Detroit knocks off Boston 4-3 in a shootout. We did not go to a shootout in the preseason. Yay. Patrice Bergeron did have.
Now we're going to have 3 of them in the first 4 games. Thanks a lot.
There's points on the line in those games. That's a little bit different. Patrice Bergeron had a hat trick for the Boston Bruins in that game. Tampa Bay beats Florida 4-1. Steven Stamkos gets on the board for Tampa in that one. Ottawa beats Montreal 4-2. The Senators were down 2-1 going into the third. They got 3 in the third period to win. Jersey gets a 3-0 victory over the New York Rangers. Of course, the Rangers here 2 weeks from tonight to open up the home portion of the Jackets schedule.
Whoa. 1 week.
1 week from tonight. 1 week. Very good.
If you show up in 2 weeks looking for the Rangers,
you're going to
you've
be missing it. Yeah.
Unless you got a time machine.
So it's 1 week from tonight. Exactly. Well, it's that old brain of mine. Speaking of old, Jaromir Jagr got a goal in that game for the Devils. Did the New Jersey Devils have anybody under the age of 30 on their team?
Probably
anybody?
Not. Right, Corey Schneider.
That'd be about it. Dinah Zubers had a goal. I know he's not under 30. Winnipeg is leading Calgary 3-1. They're in the third period. St. Louis, Minnesota tied at 3 apiece. They're also in the third period of play. And we got a couple of, actually 3 West Coast games. L.A., Colorado scoreless. Vancouver with a 2-0 lead over Edmonton. San Jose and Anaheim also scoreless in the first period of play.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Put us back on camera. And if you're watching on the radio and you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Look at this. He brings this notebook.
Notebook.
This notebook is like, remember the phone book? If you're old enough to remember the phone book.
This is about
and
the
we
size
just did
of
all those scores, and he ripped off like 7 notes and never looked at this book one time.
That's
so
like
why do you bring it in here?
Columbus phone book
That's
from
a crutch.
about 25 years
That's
ago.
a crutch. Walk out of here on it, that thing.
Walk out of here on it? Okay. It'll probably fit under my armpit. We'll give it a try.
Isn't it great to win?
Yeah.
Makes this show a lot easier.
Jackets do go unbeaten at home in the preseason.
They did. They did go unbeaten at home. And
which is important. I mean, you want to win your home games.
Hey, yes. And as Nick, they found a way to win. That's what this preseason has been about. To me, what I take away from this preseason is different personnel every night, different situations every night. Some nights they look really good. Some nights they look really bad. But they only lost once the entire time. And the game that they lost was a 2-1 game.
Yeah.
They didn't get blown out. They were in every game that they played. And if you can have that same mentality, that same mindset, and get those same results once a regular season starts, there's been a big push all summer and all through this training camp about starting off well.
Yep.
Now, you've got a great start in 8 games, but none of those count toward the record. So they have to continue what they're doing here. But hopefully, even for the youngsters that are coming in, they'll look at these last 2 weeks and go, hey, you know what? If we just do those things, we've got a great chance to win. You got a great goaltender. That gives you chance number 1. Even with the injuries that you have, you've got great players and a great team. Just great support all around. So you just got to keep playing games the way they've played them in the last couple of weeks.
All right, next time we talk to you, games will count. 2 points will be on the line as the Jackets open up.
And we'll be in Buffalo, and it may not snow.
Exactly. Well, that'd be news in itself.
I do that. There are so many Buffalo or upstate New York people in here that earlier today I made a crack about not wanting to go to Buffalo, and I've been hearing about it all day long. But let me just ask you, flat out. You're taking a vacation, family or otherwise, doesn't matter. You can go anywhere in the world. Are you picking Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse? I lived up there for 10 years, and I ain't picking it. So that's all I'm going to say. How's that? There's a guy sitting right behind me running this whole show, and he's so mad at me right now. So mad at me right now.
I don't think I'll pick either of those 3 places. None of them.
By the way, I'm about to get banished to either Buffalo, Syracuse, or Rochester.
All right, that's going to do it for the streaming portion of our Tim Hortons Post-Game Show on BlueJackets.com. I will be back to wrap things up next on the South Downs Blue Jackets Radio Network.